Hey traders, Raghee here. And as we are looking at the final few days of September, taking a look at what's going on this week, apart from the tendency of redemptions most focused the last 3 trading days of the month, we have a number of events, and we already got a taste of this morning where we've had Williams speaking not once but twice, Brainerd. We also then roll into Tuesday with more Fedspeak, this time Jerome Powell testifying on the CARES Act. You can see that there, 10 a.m. tomorrow. Rolling then into Wednesday, as if we need more of it, we're going to get even more Powell coming in, participating in a panel discussion at the ECB Forum on Central Banking. Now, the only other central bank that I pay really close attention to, aside from the FOMC, is the ECB. I mean, we should pay attention to all central banks because their take on monetary policy affects all equity markets. We roll into Thursday. We have a number of other members speaking, Williams once again, and then Bostic and Evans. And another thing to note is GDP. We have our GDP release, 8:30, which means Thursday, 8:30, not only do we have GDP, but we have unemployment claims. And if you're a futures trader, you know that sometimes the bigger moves are going to come on the heels of this 8:30 a.m. reaction to both these hot zones, as opposed to the 9:30 bell, and then Williams, Bostic, Evans. Now, as if that isn't enough, Friday, we get the Federal Reserve's pet inflation number. Now, what do I mean by pet inflation number? They prefer this one to the CPI. Now, both of them are important, but this is the one that it's perceived as the Federal Reserve watching. And then to wrap up Friday, we go into ISM. Now, that is a lot. This is practically a caution week. Does this mean we can't trade? No way, but we have to know a little bit more in terms of reaction. Where are we going to see a lot of volatility? US dollar is absolutely going to be in play. On the flip side of that, we know the euro is going to be in play. US dollar, euro, very high inverse or negative correlation. We know that bonds are going to be in play. That's the setup that actually I have my eye on. It's a little risky because of the week, and it's risky because we have a non-trending market, but the trend that preceded the yellow transition on the JT multi was up in these two instances. So I still have a bullish bias, and when I see a volume ledge like this, when I know we have previous Darvis levels and previous lows, if we can get above not just today's high, but also the VWAP, which is anchored to the first of the year, if we can trade higher through that, I'm looking for, what I'd like to see is take out the high, trade a little bit lower, and then I can scoop up either the ZB or calls on the TLT. And likely the same thing is also going to apply to ZN, our 10-year note. So then moving on to gold, which will absolutely be in play this week as well. Do I like gold as much? No, and we could argue that this looks not that different than the bond setup. And if you ignore the JP Morgan shenanigan candle and you look at the previous lows, we're kind of in the vicinity of where gold could bounce. So I'm not ruling that out in terms of if ZB moves higher, that's actually a lower yield. If inflation numbers stay flat or move higher, that is a lower number in the real yields. And gold has an inverse relationship to real yield. So if real yield goes lower, gold has a better shot at moving higher. And so that would be sort of the thinking behind what drives gold, and then the price level that we're focused on. I just like the TLT a little bit better. I like the ZB TLT setup just a little bit better. Not a lot better. I have to say the things that really stand out is the volume ledge support And the fact that we're going to wait for the market to prove that we can get above these levels and see if the bulls are willing to step up or not. So not that this is a momentum entry, but we need to see that breach. And then any kind of small pullback would be a great opportunity to buy TLT or ZB. All right, so that is what's going on. Not a lot by way of trends. And speaking of trends, that's really where I like to focus my trades on. There are a few trends that are reappearing. Semiconductors look pretty darn good. We know that we've had interesting trends in places, and this is a very choppy market at the moment. We're having to be far more discerning about where opportunities to the long side via trends are waiting. And that's definitely what I focus on, because there's always going to be some kind of trend somewhere, because the markets are always looking for yield. Some markets move higher, other markets are moving lower, but there's this sort of action where there's something somewhere that as we see outflows, we could see inflows elsewhere. Now, does the market always behave in a sort of a rotation manner? No, it doesn't. Sometimes you just simply see money coming off the sidelines, and everything tends to benefit from that. So with that in mind, that's how I scan the market, looking for high probability setups. And if you're thinking, I kind of want to find where the clarity is this year. This year's been really difficult, and I'd like to be able to find more clear setups. I want to have that discerning eye to find that kind of clarity. Well, head on over to simplertrading.com/trend. That might be one of my favorite words. And you can sign up for our October 6th webinar. I'll be going through all sorts of examples, losses, wins, the structure, the tools that I use. So you can register for that. Actually, starting today, simplertrading.com/trend. And if you can't attend it live, although I always recommend doing that because I take a pretty extensive Q&A session really right after the webinar, we'll send the replay out to you once you've registered. Okay? All right, so that's what's on the radar. Keep an eye on that ZB TLT. Remember that calendar. Don't get blindsided by the economic events. I mean, we have definitely a lot of them this week. See you in the next update. Hey traders, Raghee from Simpler Trading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment below. And remember, subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll get notified of the next update. And when you're ready to join me for live trading, be sure to head on over to simplertrading.com. I'll see you in the next update.